Good morning, sports fans. Big Al here on this Monday, April 7th, 2024, and welcome to your weekly check of the Major League Baseball, NBA, and NHL standings, as we'll be taking a look at the current standings from all three leagues as of April 6th. And we'll also look at the playoff races in both the NBA and the NHL. We'll get to those in a second, but we'll start with the Major League Baseball standings. And before we begin, like, comment, and subscribe to my channel, ring the bell, and get notified every time I go live. And off we go with the first Major League Baseball standings check of the 2025 season. And these are games played through April 6th. And all this info is courtesy of ESPN.com. Okay, off we go. We'll start in the American League East, which is led by the New York Yankees with a record of 6-3. They are 4-2 at home, 2-1 on the road. They've scored 76 runs while allowing 45 for a differential of plus 31. They are 6-3 in their last 10. Well, we won't even go through that unless they've played 10 games. And the Yankees did lose their last game. The Boston Red Sox are in second place at 6-4, just a half game out. 3-0 at home, 3-4 on the road. They've scored 63 runs while allowing 45 for a run differential of plus 18. They are 6-4 over their last 10, obviously, and they've won 5 in a row. In third place, you have the Toronto Blue Jays, 5-5 record, 1.5 games behind the Yankees. 5-2 at home, but 0-3 on the road. They've scored 35 runs and allowed 41. Run differential is -6. They are 5-5 in their last 10, and they've lost 3 straight. The Tampa Bay Rays are in fourth place, 4-5 record, 2 games behind the Yankees. 4-2 at home, 0-3 on the road. 34 runs scored to just 28 allowed for a run differential of plus 6. Last 10 they are 4-5, but they did lose 4 in a row. And sitting in last place, you have the Baltimore Orioles at 4-6, 2.5 games out of first place. 1-2 at home, 3-4 on the road. 47 runs scored, 47 runs allowed. Differential of 0, 4-6 in their last 10, and they lost their most recent game. Over to the American League Central, which is led by the Detroit Tigers at 5-4. 3-0 at home, 2-4 on the road. They've scored 45 runs, allowed 39. Run differential is plus 6. 5-4 in their last 10, including 3 straight wins. In second place, you've got the Kansas City Royals at 4-5, 1 game back. 3-3 at home, 1-2 on the road. 36 runs scored and 36 runs allowed. Run differential is 0. 4-5 record in their last 10, including a win in their most recent game. Tied for third, you have the Minnesota Twins and the Cleveland Guardians, both at 3-6, and both 2 games behind the Tigers. The Twins are 1-2 at home and 2-4 on the road. They've scored 35 runs and allowed 47. Run differential is -12. 3-6 in their last 10, and they lost their most recent game. The Guardians, also 3-6 and 2 back of the Tigers, have not played at home yet. They played all their games on the road where they're 3-6. 34 runs scored and 51 runs allowed for a run differential of -17. 3-6 in their last 10, including 2 straight losses. And at the bottom of the Central are the Chicago White Sox, sitting with a record of 2-7. And already 3 games behind Detroit in the Central. 2-4 record at home, 0-3 on the road. They've scored 32 runs, allowed 37 for a run differential of -5. 2-7 over their last 10, including 5 straight losses. The Texas Rangers lead the way in the AL West with a record of 8-2, 6-1 at home, 2-1 on the road. 33 runs scored to 34 runs allowed gives them a run differential of -1. 8-2 over their first 10 games of the season, and they have won 5 straight. Then you have the Los Angeles Angels in second place at 6-3, trailing the Rangers by a game and a half. 2-1 record at home, 4-2 on the road. 46 runs scored, 47 runs allowed. Run differential is -1. They are 6-3 in their first 9, and they've won 2 straight. The Houston Astros are in third place. 4-5 record, 3.5 games behind Texas. 2-4 at home, 2-1 on the road. 27 runs scored to 36 runs allowed for a run differential of -9. They are 4-5 over their first 9 games of the season, and they did win their last game. Then you have the Athletics, no longer in Oakland. They're playing in Sacramento now, but they're just known as the Athletics. They have a 4-6 record. They trail the Rangers by 4 games. 0-3 at home, 4-3 on the road. 41 runs scored to 62 runs allowed. Differential is -21. 4-6 over their first 10, including a loss in their most recent game. And at the bottom of the West are the Seattle Mariners at 3-7. Already 5 games out behind the Texas Rangers for first place in the West. 3-4 at home, 0-3 on the road. 32 runs scored, 48 runs allowed, and a differential of -16. 3-7 in their first 10, including 3 straight losses. So that's the American League. Now over to the National League. We'll begin in the East, where the Philadelphia Phillies are on top at 7-2. 5-1 at home, 2-1 on the road. They've scored 45 runs and allowed 29 for a run differential of +16. 7-2 in their first 9, and they won their last game. The New York Mets are in second place at 6-3, just a game behind the Phillies. 3-0 record at home, 3-3 on the road. 33 runs scored, the 22 runs allowed. Differential is +11. 6-3 in their first 9 games, and they've won 4 straight. The Miami Marlins are in third place with a 5-4 record, trailing the Phils by 2 games, 4-3 at home, just 1-1 on the road. 33 runs scored to 42 allowed. Run differential is -9. 5-4 in their first 9 games, and they won their last game. The Washington Nationals are up next with a record of 3-6, trailing Philly by 4 games. 3-3 at home, 0-3 on the road. 34 runs scored, 46 runs allowed. Run differential is -12. They are 3-6 in their first 9 games, and they've won back-to-back. Then it's the Atlanta Braves at the bottom. Very slow start for them. They are 1-8. 6 back of the Phillies already. 1-1 record at home, but 0-7 on the road. 24 runs scored to 36 runs allowed. Run differential is -12. 1-8 in their first 9, and they did lose their most recent game. Of course, this team started 0-7. The Chicago Cubs lead the National League Central with a record of 7-5. 2-3 at home, 5-2 on the road. 77 runs scored versus 56 runs allowed. Run differential is +21. They are 7-3 over their last 10 games, including a loss in their most recent game. The Milwaukee Brewers are in second place, 5-5 record, trailing the Cubs by just a game. They have the same amount of losses as the Cubs. 5-2 at home, 0-3 on the road. 42 runs scored, 64 runs allowed. Run differential is -22. 5-5 in their first 10, and they won their last game. In third place are the St. Louis Cardinals. 4-5 record, 1.5 games behind the Cubs. 4-2 record at home, 0-3 on the road. They've scored 62 runs, allowed 61. Run differential is +1. 4-5 record in their first 9 games, and they did lose 3 in a row. The Pittsburgh Pirates are in fourth place. In fact, they are tied for fourth place with the Cincinnati Reds. Both teams are 3-7 and 3 back of the Cubs. Pittsburgh is 1-2 at home, 2-5 on the road. 32 runs scored, 54 runs allowed. Run differential is -22. 3-7 over their first 10 games, and they did win their most recent. While Cincinnati is 2-4 at home and 1-3 on the road, with 39 runs scored and 38 runs allowed. Differential is +1. The Reds are also 3-7 over their first 10, but they lost their last game. Now to the National League West, where you have a virtual tie for first place between the San Francisco Giants and the Los Angeles Dodgers. San Francisco is 8-1 overall, 3-0 at home, 5-1 on the road, 49 runs scored versus 30 allowed for a run differential of +19. 8-1 record in their first 9 games, and they've won 7 in a row. So they're the hottest team in baseball right now in the early going of this 2025 season. They are tied with the defending World Series champion Los Angeles Dodgers, sitting with a 9-2 record. 6-0 at home, 3-2 on the road. They've scored 57 runs while allowing 45 for a run differential of +22. 8-2 in their first 10, including a loss in their last game. Not far behind them are the San Diego Padres, sitting third with a record of 8-2, just a half game out behind both the Giants and Dodgers. A perfect 7-0 record at home, but 1-2 on the road. They've scored 46 runs while allowing 28 for a run differential of +18. They are 8-2 in their first 10, including a win in their last game. The Arizona Diamondbacks are in fourth place at 5-5, 3.5 games out behind San Fran and LA. 2-2 record at home, 3-3 on the road. 58 runs scored, 51 runs allowed. Run differential is +7. The D-backs are 5-5 in their first 10, including 2 straight losses. And at the bottom of the West are the Colorado Rockies. 2-7 record, 6 games behind the Giants and Dodgers. 1-2 record at home, 1-5 record on the road. They've scored 30 runs and allowed 42. Run differential is -12. 2-7 in their first 9 games, including a win in their most recent. Now, I know we just started the season, but it's fun looking at the playoff standings. As of right now, the Yankees, Tigers, and Rangers would be the division leaders in the American League, while the Phillies, Cubs, and by tiebreaker, the Giants would lead the West. As of right now, the Angels, Red Sox, and Blue Jays would be the 3 wildcard teams in the American League, with the Royals, Astros, and Rays all a half game out. The Athletics and the Orioles both a game out. Then you got the Twins and Guardians 1.5 games out, the Mariners 2 games out, and the White Sox 2.5 games out. As far as the National League wildcard picture as of right now, the Dodgers, Padres, and Mets would hold the 3 spots. with the Marlins only a game out, both the Brewers and Diamondbacks a game and a half out. The Cardinals are 2 games out, the Nationals are 3 games out. Then it's the Reds and Pirates, 3.5 games out. The Rockies are 4 games out, and the Braves are 5 games out. So that is your first look at the Major League Baseball standings for the 2025 season as of April 6th. Now we're going to turn our attention to the NBA, which is coming down the stretch run as of right now, with a handful of games left for all 30 teams, and we'll start in the Eastern Conference with the Cleveland Cavaliers. Sitting with a record of 62-16, they have already locked up the Central Division Championship. They are 33-6 at home, 29-10 on the road, 11-2 versus Central Division opponents, and a very impressive 39-9 against the Eastern Conference. Cleveland scores 122.1 points per game while allowing 112.3. Their average point differential is plus 9.8. Cleveland is 6-4 in their last 10, but they did lose their most recent game. The Boston Celtics are the other team that have won their division, in their case the Atlantic Division. They are the 2 seed in the East with a record of 58-20, trailing the Cavs by 4 games, and they have 4 games left to play. 26-13 at home, but really good on the road at 32-7. 13-2 versus the Atlantic, and 36-12 versus the East. They score 116.9 points per game while allowing 107.6 for an average point differential of plus 9.3. They are 9-1 in their last 10, including 2 straight wins. Sitting in the 3 spot and already locking up a spot in the playoffs are the New York Knicks at 50-28, 12 games behind Cleveland, 27-12 at home, 23-16 on the road, 11-3 versus the Atlantic, and 33-15 versus the East as a whole. They've scored 116.1 points per game, average 111.7 points per game, for an average point differential of plus 4.4. They are 7-3 in their last 10, including 2 straight wins. The 4 spot belongs to the Indiana Pacers, and they're headed to the playoffs as well. Their record is 47-31, 15 games behind the Cavs, 27-10 at home, 19-20 on the road, 8-6 record versus the Central, 26-21 against the East. They average 117.5 points per game and allow 115.2 for a point differential of plus 2.3 on average. They're pretty hot right now. They're 8-2 in their last 10, including 4 straight wins. The Milwaukee Bucks, also going to the playoffs, are in the 5 spot right now at 44-34, 18 games behind the Cavs. 24-14 record at home, 19-20 on the road, 7-7 versus the Central, and 29-21 in the East. They average 114.9 points per game. They allow 112.9. Average point differential is plus 2.0. They are 6-4 in their last 10, including 4 straight wins. And also headed to the playoffs and sitting in the number 6 spot in the East are the Detroit Pistons. 43-35, 19 games behind the Cavs. 21-17 at home, 22-18 on the road, just 5-9 versus the Central, 28-21 record versus the East. They average 115.2 points per game while allowing 113 for an average point differential of plus 2.2. The Pistons are 6-4 in their last 10, but they did lose their most recent game. All right. The play-in spots in the Eastern Conference are decided as of right now. Sitting in the number 7 spot are the Southeast Division leaders, the Orlando Magic, at 38-40. They are 24 games behind Cleveland for first in the East. 20-19 at home, 18-21 on the road, 11-3 record versus the Southeast. 28-20 record versus the East. They average 105.1 points per game and allow 105.6 for a point differential of minus 0.5. They are 7-3 in their last 10 games, including 2 straight wins. In the number 8 spot presently are the Atlanta Hawks, 37-41, 25 games behind Cleveland. 20-19 at home, 17-21 on the road, 9-5 record versus the Southeast, 27-21 versus the conference. They average 118 points per game, allow 119.8 for a point differential on average of minus 1.8. They are 5-5 in their last 10, including a win in their most recent game. The Chicago Bulls sit in the 9th spot at 36-42, 26 games behind the Cavs. 16-23 at home, 20-19 on the road, 4-11 versus the Central, 25-23 versus the East. They average 117.8 points per game and allow 119.9. Average point differential is minus 2.1. They are 7-3 in their last 10, including 3 straight wins. And in the 10th and final play-in spot in the East are the Miami Heat, 35-43. 27 games behind the Cavs. 6-4 record in their last 10, including 2 straight losses. I kind of jumped ahead of myself. Sorry about that. The Heat are 18-21 at home, 16-22 on the road, 10-5 versus the Southeast, and only 23-26 versus the East. They average 109.9 points per game, and they allow 109.9 points per game. Their average point margin is 0. And again, they are 6-4 in their last 10, including 2 straight losses. The bottom 5 teams are all eliminated from playoff contention, starting with number 11 in the East, the Toronto Raptors at 29-50. 33.5 games behind Cleveland. 17-23 at home, 12-27 on the road, 8-8 record versus the Atlantic, 20-31 in the East. They average 110.7 points per game, allow 115.2. Average point differential is minus 4.5. They are 5-5 in their last 10 games, including a win in their most recent game. 12th in the East are the Brooklyn Nets, 25-53, 37 games behind the Cavs. 11-27 at home, 14-26 on the road. Just 3-12 versus the Atlantic this year, 14-35 versus the East. They average 105.1 points per game and allow 111.9. Average point differential is minus 6.8. They are 2-8 in their last 10 games, including 2 straight losses. In 13th are the Philadelphia 76ers at 23-55, 39 games behind the Cavs. 12-27 at home, 11-28 on the road. They finished 3-13 against the Atlantic this season, and they are 14-34 overall in the East. The Sixers average 109.6 points per game and allow 115.8. Average point margin is minus 6.2. 0-10 in their last 10 games. And they are on an 11-game losing streak. 14th in the East are the Charlotte Hornets at 19-59, 43 games behind Cleveland, 12-28 at home, 7-31 on the road, 1-15 versus the Southeast Division, 10-39 in the East. They average 105.7 points per game while giving up 114 points per game. Point differential on average is minus 8.3. They are 2-8 in their last 10, including 3 straight losses. And sitting 15th in the East, the Washington Wizards, 17-61, 45 games behind the Cavs. 8-31 at home, 9-29 on the road. 6-9 record versus the Southeast Division. 12-36 in the East. They average 108.3 points per game while giving up 120.7 for an average point margin of minus 12.4. They are also 2-8 in their last 10 games, including 2 straight losses. So again, the Cavs, Celtics, Knicks, Pacers, Bucks, and Pistons are all headed to the playoffs, while the Magic, Hawks, Bulls, and Heat lock up the 4 play-in spots in the conference, while the Raptors, Knicks, Sixers, Hornets, and Wizards are all eliminated. Shifting our attention now to the Western Conference, we'll start at the top with the Oklahoma City Thunder, who have locked up the number 1 seed in the West. They are an NBA best 64-14. 34-6 at home, 29-8 on the road, 11-4 versus the Northwest Division, and overall versus the West, they are 35-13. The Thunder average 120 points per game while giving up 107.5 for a point differential of plus 12.5, which is the best in the NBA. They are 8-2 in their last 10, but they did lose 2 in a row. Next, sitting in the 2 spot in the West are the playoff-bound Houston Rockets at 52-27. 12.5 games behind the Thunder. So pretty much they can lock up number 2 with a few more wins. 29-11 at home, 23-15 on the road. 13-3 versus the Southwest Division, and 31-18 in the conference. They average 114.4 points per game, allow 108.9. Average point differential is plus 5.5. Houston is 8-2 in their last 10 games, including 3 straight wins. The Los Angeles Lakers are in third with a record of 48-30, trailing the Thunder by 16. 30-10 at home, 18-20 on the road, 12-4 record versus the Pacific, 34-14 in the West. They average 113.4 points per game, allow 112.1. Average point differential is plus 1.3. They are 5-5 in their last 10, including 2 straight wins. The Denver Nuggets, meanwhile, have slipped to 4th in the West with a record of 47-32. 17.5 games behind OKC. 25-15 at home, 22-17 on the road. 8-8 record versus the Northwest, 29-20 in the West. They average 120.7 points per game, allow 117.1. Point differential on average is plus 3.6, but they are headed in the wrong direction. They are 3-7 in their last 10, including 4 straight losses. The Los Angeles Clippers and the Golden State Warriors are battling for the 5 and 6 spots in the West. Both sit 46 and 32, and both are 18 games behind OKC. They are 28 and 11. The Clippers are 28 and 11 at home and 18 and 21 on the road. 7 and 7 versus the Pacific and 25 and 23 in the West. They average 112.5 points per game, allow 108. Average point differential is plus 4.5. They are 8 and 2 in their last 10, including 4 straight wins. The Golden State Warriors are also 46 and 32 and 18 back of OKC. 24 and 15 at home, 22 and 17 on the road, just 4 and 10 versus the Pacific Division. 27 and 21 versus the West. They average 113.7 points per game and allow 110.8 for a point margin of plus 2.9. They are 7 and 3 in their last 10, including a loss in their last game. The top 2 teams in the play-in tournament also have the same record as the Clippers and Warriors, and we'll start with the Minnesota Timberwolves. Based on tiebreakers, they would be the 7 at 46 and 32, 18 back of the Thunder. 23 and 16 at home, 23 and 16 on the road. 10 and 5 record versus the Northwest, 31 and 19 mark versus the West. They average 114 points per game, allow 109.4. Average point margin is plus 4.6. They are 7 and 3 in their last 10, including 5 straight wins. Also in that cluster of 46 and 32 teams are the Memphis Grizzlies, 46 and 32 and 18 back of OKC. 25 and 14 at home, 21 and 18 on the road, 10 and 5 versus the Northwest, or rather the Southwest Division, sorry about that, and 26 and 22 versus the West. They average a Western Conference leading 121.7 points per game, while allowing 117. Average point differential is plus 4.7. Like the Nuggets, the Grizzlies are trending in the wrong direction. They are 3 and 7 in their last 10, but they did win back-to-back games. In the 9 spot, you have the Sacramento Kings at 38 and 40, 26 games behind the Thunder. 19 and 19 at home, 19 and 21 on the road. 4 and 10 record versus the Pacific, 25 and 24 against the West. They average 115.9 points per game, allow 115.5. Average point margin is plus 0.4. They are 3 and 7 in their last 10, including 2 straight wins. And in that 10th and final play-in spot in the West are the Dallas Mavericks, 38 and 41, 26 and a half games behind OKC. 21 and 17 at home, but 17 and 24 on the road. 8 and 7 record versus the Southwest. 23 and 27 against the conference. They average 114.5 points per game, allow 115.4. Average point differential is minus 0.9. 5 and 5 in their last 10, including 2 straight losses. Still alive in the play-in conversation are the Phoenix Suns. They are 11th in the West with a record of 35 and 43. 29 games behind Oklahoma City. 23 and 15 at home, but very bad on the road at 12 and 28. 9 and 5 record against the Pacific and 21 and 27 against the West. They average 114 points a game, allow 116.6. Average point differential is minus 2.6. They are 4 and 6 in their last 10, including 6 straight losses. So they don't have a lot of time to get into that number 10 spot in the West. They only have 4 games remaining. The remaining 4 teams in the West are eliminated from the playoffs. In 12th place, you have the Portland Trailblazers at 35-44, 29.5 games behind the Thunder. 21-18 at home, 14-26 on the road. 6-9 versus the Northwest, 18-31 against the conference. They average 111 points per game, allow 111 or 114.2. Average point differential is minus 3.2. They are 5-5 in their last 10, and they did win their most recent game. Also eliminated are the San Antonio Spurs, 13th in the West at 32-46, 32 games behind OKC. 19-20 at home, 12-25 on the road. They'll finish 5-11 on the season against the Southwest Division. And overall, they are 21-28 versus the West. They average 113.9 points per game, allow 116.7. Average point differential is minus 2.8. 3-7 in their last 10, including 2 straight losses. In 14th place, the New Orleans Pelicans, 21-57, 43 games behind the Thunder. 14-25 at home, 7-32 on the road. 3-13 versus the Southwest, 13-37 in the West. They average 110 points per game, allow 118.7. Average point differential is minus 8.7. They are 3-7 in their last 10, including 3 straight losses. And sitting at the bottom of the West are the Utah Jazz at 16-63. 48.5 games behind the Thunder. Ouch. 9-30 against the West, or rather 9-30 at home, and 7-33 on the road. They are 2-11 against the Northwest Division, and only 7-42 against the West. They average 111.7 points per game, allow 120.9. Average point margin is minus 9.2. 1-9 in their last 10 games, including 9 straight losses. So looking at the West, only Oklahoma City and Houston have locked up playoff spots. Oklahoma City won the Northwest Division title, and they'll have home court advantage throughout the playoffs. The Houston Rockets, meanwhile, I didn't mention this earlier, they won the Southwest Division title. The Lakers, Warriors, Timberwolves, and Grizzlies are all tied for the last 2 playoff spots and the first 2 play-in spots in the West, as they all sit with 46 wins. The only team that's still mathematically alive for a play-in spot is Phoenix. They are 2.5 games behind Dallas. They have 4 games remaining while the Mavericks have 3. So the Suns would have to win a majority of these games and hope Dallas slips up in order for the Suns to make that play-in tournament in the West. And we'll wrap this up with a look at the current NHL standings and playoff races through April 6th, and we'll start in the Eastern Conference. Beginning in the Atlantic Division with the Toronto Maple Leafs. They have locked up a playoff spot. 76 games played and a record of 47-25-4 for 98 points. 39 regulation wins, 46 in regulation and overtime. Shootout record is 1-2. They are 25-13-1 at home, 22-12-3 on the road, 250 goals scored to 221 allowed. Average differential or total differential is plus 29. And they're playing some pretty good hockey right now. They are 8-1-1 in their last 10, including 4 straight wins. The Tampa Bay Lightning, also headed to the playoffs, are in second place. 76 games played and a record of 44-26-6 for 94 points. 38 regulation wins, 42 in regulation or overtime, 2-3 shootout record. They are 27-8-2 at home, really good. 17-18-4 on the road. 271 goals scored to 201. This gives them a goal differential of plus 70. They are 6-3-1 in their last 10, but they did lose 2 straight games. Also headed to the playoffs, you got the reigning Stanley Cup champion Florida Panthers, sitting third in the Atlantic. 77 games played and a record of 44-29-4 for 92 points. 35 regulation wins, 39 in regulation or overtime, and a perfect 5-0 in the shootout. They are 24-11-2 at home, 20-18-2 on the road. 238 goals scored versus 209 allowed gives them a goal differential of plus 29. They're kind of cold right now, 3-6-1 in their last 10, including 5 straight losses. They better be careful because the 4th place Ottawa Senators are nipping at their heels as of right now. 77 games played and a record of 42-29-6 for 90 points. 33 regulation wins, 41 in regulation or overtime, 1-2 shootout record. They're 24-11-2 at home, same as the Panthers, but they are only 18-18-4 on the road. 222 goals scored versus 215 gives them a goal differential of plus 7. The Senators are 6-3-1 in their last 10, including 3 straight wins. The Montreal Canadiens are in 5th place. 77 games played and a record of 38-30-9 for 85 points. 28 regulation wins, 36 in regulation or overtime. Shootout record is 2-3. They are 21-12-5 at home, 17-18-4 on the road. They've scored 232 goals, allowed 252. Goal differential is minus 20. They are 5-3-2 in their last 10, including 5 straight wins. So they're kind of hot right now too. 6th place, you've got the Detroit Red Wings. 76 games played, 36-33-7 for 79 points. So they are fighting for their playoff lives here down the stretch. 28 regulation wins, 33 in regulation or overtime, and a perfect 3-0 shootout record. They are 21-16-3 at home, 15-17-4 on the road. 218 goals scored, 238 goals allowed, goal differentials minus 20. They are 5-4-1 in their last 10, including 2 straight wins. The Buffalo Sabres are in 7th place. 76 games played, 34-36-6 record for 74 points. 27 regulation wins, 30 in regulation or overtime. And their shootout record is an impressive 4-1. 21-14-3 at home, 13-22-3 on the road. 253 goals scored versus 268 allowed. Goal differential is minus 15. They are 7-3 in their last 10, including 4 straight wins. So they are starting to play some pretty good hockey. And sitting in last place and eliminated from playoff contention are the Boston Bruins. 78 games played, 31, 38, and 9 record for 71 points, which is tied for the fewest points in the Eastern Conference. 24 regulation wins, 31 in regulation and overtime, 0-1 in the shootout. They are 20, 13, and 6 at home, but only 11, 25, and 3 on the road. They've scored 205 goals, allowed 259, goal differential is -54. They are just 1, 8, and 1 in their last 10, and they did lose their last game. Over to the Metropolitan Division, led by the Washington Capitals. They're headed for the playoffs, as that X indicates next to their team name. 77 goals scored and a record of 49, 19, and 9 for 107 points. They are in hot pursuit with the Jets for the President's Trophy. 42 regulation wins, 48 in regulation or overtime. Shootout record is 1-3. They are 25, 8, and 6 at home, 24, 11, and 3 on the road. They've scored 277 goals while allowing just 211. Goal differential is +66. Washington is 5-4 and 1 in their last 10, but they did lose their last game. And quickly, big congratulations to Alexander Ovechkin. Yesterday, he did break Wayne Gretzky's long-standing goal scoring record with his 895th career goal. Unfortunately, it came in a loss to the Islanders. But again, congrats, Ovi, for that incredible milestone. Moving on, second place and also going to the playoffs are the Carolina Hurricanes. 76 games played, 46, 26, and 4 record for 96 points. 41 regulation wins, 46 in regulation or overtime. Shootout record is 0-2. 30 wins, 8 losses, and 1 OT loss at home versus 16, 18, and 3 on the road. They've scored 247 goals, allowed 207. Their goal differential is +40. The Hurricanes are 6-4 in their last 10, but they did lose back-to-back games. Not yet in the playoffs and sitting in third in the Metro, you've got the New Jersey Devils. 77 games played and a record of 41, 29, and 7 for 89 points. 36 regulation wins, 39 in regulation or overtime. Shootout record is 2-2. The Devils are 19, 13, and 5 at home, 22, 16, and 2 on the road. 231 goals scored to 201 allowed, and goal differential is +30. They are 5-4 and 1 in their last 10, including 3 straight wins. In fourth place, you have the New York Rangers also fighting for their playoff lives. 76 games played, 36, 33, and 7 record for 79 points. 32 regulation wins, 35 in regulation or overtime. Shootout record is 1-0. 18, 17, and 3 at home, 18, 16, and 4 on the road. 229 goals scored, 230 allowed. Goal differential is -1. New York is 4, 5, and 1 in their last 10, including a loss in their last game. Fifth place are the New York Islanders. 76 games played, 34 wins, 32 losses, and 10 overtime losses for 78 points. 27 regulation wins, 32 in regulation or overtime. Shootout record is 2-2. They are 19, 15, and 5 at home, 15, 17, and 5 on the road. 210 goals scored to 231 allowed. Goal differentials -21. They are 4, 4, and 2 in their last 10, including 2 straight wins. The Columbus Blue Jackets sit 6th in the Metro. 76 games played, 34, 33, and 9 record for 77 points. 24 regulation wins, 28 regulation and overtime, and very good in the shootout, 6-1. They are 22, 10, and 5 at home, 12, 23, and 4 on the road. They've scored 245 goals, allowed 262, goal differential is -17. They are 3, 6-1 in their last 10, including 3 straight losses. And at the bottom of the Metro Division are the 2 Pennsylvania teams, both eliminated from the playoffs. We'll start with the 7th place Pittsburgh Penguins. 78 games played, 31, 35, and 12 record, 74 points. 21 regulation wins, 30 in regulation or overtime, 1-6 in the shootout. 19, 14, and 5 at home, 12, 21, and 7 on the road. 228 goals scored, 285 allowed, goal differential is -57. 4, 4, and 2 record in their last 10, and they did lose their last game. The other Pennsylvania team eliminated are the Philadelphia Flyers. 77 games played, 31, 37, and 9 for 71 points, which ties Boston for the fewest in the East. 20 regulation wins, 26 in regulation or overtime, 5-3 in the shootout. 19, 19, and 1 record at home, 12, 18, and 8 on the road. 219 goals scored, the 266 allowed, goal differentials -47. They are 3, 6-1 in their last 10, including a loss in their last game. So as it sits right now in the Eastern Conference, Toronto, Tampa Bay, and Florida are the top 3 in the Atlantic Division, and they are all headed to the playoffs. Washington, Carolina, and New Jersey would be your top 3 in the Metro Division, with both the Capitals and Hurricanes securing playoff spots. As for the wild card race in the East, Ottawa with 90 points has the number 1 wild card, while Montreal with 85 points have the number 2 wild card. Both the Rangers and Red Wings are 6 points out. New York does own the head-to-head tiebreaker over Detroit. The Islanders are 7 points out with 6 games left. The Blue Jackets are 8 points out with 6 games left. And the Sabres are 11 points out with 6 games left. The Penguins, Flyers, and Bruins are all eliminated. Meanwhile, over in the Western Conference, we'll start with the Central Division and the Winnipeg Jets, already headed to the playoffs. 77 games played, 52, 21, and 4 record for 108 points. That's tops in the NHL. 41 regulation wins, 51 in regulation or overtime. Shootout record is 1-1. The Jets are 28, 6, and 4 at home, 24 and 15 on the road. 262 goals scored to 181 allowed. Goal differential is also tops in the NHL at +81. Winnipeg is 6-4 in their last 10, including a loss in their last game. Also going to the playoffs are the second place Dallas Stars. 77 games played, 50, 22, and 5 record for 105 points. 41 regulation wins, 48 in regulation or overtime, 2-2 in the shootout. 28, 8-2 at home, 22, 14, and 3 on the road. The Stars have scored 264 goals while allowing 198 for a goal differential of +66. They are 7-1-2 in their last 10, but they did lose their last 2 games. Next are the Colorado Avalanche, also going to the playoffs. 78 games played and a record of 47, 27, and 4 for 98 points. 39 regulation wins, 44 in regulation or overtime, Shootout record is 3-3. Colorado is 25-11-3 at home and 22-16-1 on the road. They've scored 265 goals while allowing 221. Goal differential is plus 44. They are 6-3-1 in their last 10, including a loss in their last game. The fourth place team in the Central is easily the hottest in the NHL right now, and that's the St. Louis Blues. 78 games played, 43-28-7 record for 93 points. 31 wins in regulation, 39 in regulation or overtime. Their shootout record is 4 up, 1 down. They are 23-14-3 at home, 20-14-4 on the road. They've scored 241 goals, allowed 221. Goal differential is plus 20. They are 10-0 in their last 10, including 12 straight wins. So they're on the cusp of making the playoffs after what has been a pretty up and down year in St. Louis. The Minnesota Wild, thanks to the Blues' hot streak, drops to 5th place. 78 games played, 42-29-7 record for 91 points. 33 regulation wins, 39 in regulation and overtime. Shootout record is 3-3. They are 20-17-2 at home, 22-12-5 on the road. 212 goals scored to 224 goals allowed. Goal differential is minus 12. 4-4-2 in their last 10, including a win in their last game. Still hanging around in the playoff picture in the West are the Utah Hockey Club. 77 games played, 35-30-12 record for 82 points. 27 regulation wins, 34 in regulation or overtime, 1-3 in the shootout. 17-15-7 record at home, 18-15-5 on the road. 218 goals scored to 234 allowed. Goal differential was minus 16. They are 5-4-1 in their last 10, including a win in their most recent game. In 7th place and eliminated from contention are the Nashville Predators. 77 games played, 27-42-8 record, 62 points. 23 regulation wins, 26 regulation and overtime wins. Shootout record is 1-0. 18-17-3 at home, but only 9-25-5 on the road. That's not good. They've scored 192 goals, allowed 252. Goal differential is minus 60. Nashville is 2-8 in their last 10 games, including 6 straight losses. In last place in the Central and eliminated from contention are the Chicago Blackhawks. 77 games played, 22-45-10 record for 54 points. That's the second fewest in the NHL. 19 regulation wins, 21 in regulation or overtime, 1-3 in the shootout. 15-20-5 record at home, 7-25-5 on the road. 209 goals scored versus 278 allowed. Goal differential is minus 69. They are 2-7-1 in their last 10, including a win in their last game. Alright, on to the Pacific Division, led by the Vegas Golden Knights, already securing a playoff spot. 77 games played, 47-22-8 record for 102 points. 43 regulation wins, 46 in regulation or overtime. Shootout record is 1-3. They are 27-9-3 at home, 20-13-5 on the road. They've scored 258 goals while allowing 206. Goal differential is plus 52. They are 8-2 in their last 10, including 2 straight wins. Also headed to the playoffs are the second place Los Angeles Kings. 76 games played, 44-23-9 record for 97 points. 39 regulation wins, 43 in regulation or overtime. Shootout record is 1-3. They're probably the best team, the best home team in the NHL at 29-4-4. Their road record nowhere near as impressive at 15-19-5. They scored 226 goals, allowed 189. Goal differential is plus 37. LA is also 8-2 in their last 10 games, including 4 straight wins. Third place are the Edmonton Oilers. 76 games played, 44-27-5 record, 93 points. 32 regulation wins, 44 in regulation or overtime, 0-1 in the shootout. 23-12-3 record at home, 21-15-2 record on the road, 242 goals scored, 222 goals allowed, differential is plus 20. They are 6-3-1 in their last 10, including a loss in their most recent game. In fourth place, you have the Calgary Flames. 76 games played, 36-27-13 for 85 points. 27 regulation wins, 32 in regulation or overtime. Their shootout record is 4-2. They are 20-12-6 at home and 16-15-7 on the road. And even 200 goals scored versus 223 allowed gives them a goal differential of minus 23. The Flames are 6-2-2 in their last 10, but they did lose their last game. The Vancouver Canucks are in 5th place. 77 games played, 35-29-13 record for 83 points. 27 regulation wins, 32 in regulation or overtime. Shootout record is 3-2. They are 16-15-7 at home, 19-14-6 on the road. 221 goals scored to 239 allowed. Goal differential is minus 18. 4-4-2 in their last 10, including a loss in their last game. Sitting in 6th in the Pacific and eliminated from the playoffs are the Anaheim Ducks. 76 games played, 33-35-8 record for 74 points. 23 regulation wins, 29 in regulation or overtime, 4-2 shootout record. They are 19-17-2 at home, 14-18-6 on the road, 208 goals scored to 243 goals allowed, goal differential is minus 35. They are 4-5-1 in their last 10, including 2 straight losses. In 7th place and also eliminated from contention are the Seattle Kraken. 77 games played, 33-38-6 for 72 points, 27 regulation wins, 32 in regulation and overtime. Their shootout record is 1-3. 17-17-5 at home, 16-21-1 on the road. 234 goals scored versus 246 allowed. Goal differential is minus 12. 4-4-2 in their last 10, including 2 straight wins. And rounding out the Pacific Division is the worst team points-wise in the NHL, and that's the San Jose Sharks, also eliminated from the playoffs. 76 games played and a record of 20-46-10 for 50 points. That's bad. 14 regulation wins and 18 regulation overtime wins and a 2-5 shootout record, also not good. Home record is 12-25-2. Road record is 8-21-8, which are also bad. And listen to the goal scoring splits. 196 scored to 290 allowed. Goal differential is a league worst minus 94. Whew. They are 3-6-1 in their last 10 games, including 5 straight losses. Looking at the playoff picture in the West, Winnipeg, Dallas, and Colorado are the top 3 in the Central and all have secured playoff spots. Vegas, LA, and Edmonton are the top 3 in the Pacific, with the Golden Knights and Kings both locking up playoff spots. As far as the Western Conference wildcard picture is concerned, alright, St. Louis with 93 points and Minnesota with 91. would be the two wild cards right now. Again, the Blues are playing outstanding hockey right now with that 12-game win streak. Calgary is 6 points out, Vancouver is 8 points out, and Utah is 9 points out, with Anaheim, Seattle, Nashville, Chicago, and San Jose all eliminated. And that is a look at your current standings and playoff races in the NBA and NHL through April 6th. And the first look at the Major League Baseball standings for the 2025 season also through April 6th. We'll do this all again next Monday, so make sure you join me for that. In the meantime, like, comment, and subscribe to my channel, ring the bell, and get notified every time I go live. Big Al signing off. Thanks for watching and enjoy all the sports action this week. Peace out. Okay, there it goes.